Hey, want to hear the most annoying sound in the world?
Newsflash, asshole! I've been hearing it the entire goddamn time!
Hello, and once again, welcome to the West of Waterford Podcast with me, your host, Josh, and my second banana, best things ever had in my life, on the couch, Brittany, and yep, we're just going to start getting into this right now.
Excuse me, but I'm lounging on the couch.
You are lounging. You are a lady of leisure this evening. You're looking well.
I want you to paint me like one of your French girls, Josh.
Can I paint you like one of my Angolan girls?
I don't know what that is.
You'd probably see it in a picture in Wakanda. Keep an eye out for it. The next time they do a Black Panther movie. I haven't seen that, actually. Have you seen the Black Panther movie?
No,
I don't think it... Well, I suppose if you'd seen it...
yes, I have.
Oh, you did see it?
I'm just saying no because I didn't understand how that just went into a strange direction really quickly.
Yeah, well, you know what? It's the start of a show. You got to talk about something. But welcome back. This is episode 17. Right. Can you believe we're up to 17 already?
We still... The more episodes we do, the bigger the deficit between subscribers and episode number, though.
This is true, but you know what? I would like...
Please remember to subscribe if you enjoy what you're hearing.
This is very true. And I would like to thank comedian Pat Oates for subscribing. I know it was a pity sub there, but I did subscribe to your channel. I'll be checking out your content as we go along as well. So thank you for subscribing.
They're all pity subs. No, I didn't mean it that way. I didn't mean it that way.
Not everybody is.
But I didn't mean it that way. What I meant is when you see some accounts on YouTube or Instagram where they're following a lot of people, following more people than they're following more people that follow them. That's because most of them they're getting it from hey, you follow me, I'll follow you.
Believe me, I'm on the cesspool that is known as Twitter. I know how it works.
Okay, gotcha.
I know how the world works at this point. So, yes, we're going to get into this show. Big thing I want to talk about, it's kind of the flavor of the day, if you will. Censorship is running rampant. Speaking of Twitter that I was just talking about, it's running rampant. Stephen Crowder was put in Twitter jail there, I believe, today. Or was it yesterday? It was yesterday, I believe. Today is the 24th, so the 23rd he was put in Twitter jail.
Yeah, suspended.
Simply for stating the fact that, he has, and I suppose we got to be kind of careful when we're talking about this kind of thing too, but he has proof of election fraud, or at least election meddling of some kind. He has addresses that don't exist. Now, I watched his live stream this morning, or at least I caught what I could of it. And, there is a lot. Well, I caught more of it yesterday. And he enlisted the great comedian Dave Landau to actually go up to Michigan and do a bit of filming up there, showing addresses, doxing a median curb, as it was. So, talking about the censor, it's plain wrong. At this point, everybody's saying that
Well, it's because it's the misinformation that has led to the radical right of America that is causing violence and surging the Capitol.
The radical right of America that has been insurging, very peacefully for the last, how long have they had those gates up around the Capitol? How long have they what's been going on there? This looks like a military coup.
Where was that on the ridiculous. Where was that on the day that should have been their highest concern? Where was that on the day where it should have been their
National Guard?
Priority?
Oh yeah, the National Guard weren't called. Look, there are facts out there.
Why were there 6? Why were they denied more backup? Why were they denied backup on the day? Why were they not provided more men on the day when asked?
Exactly.
And then why were they also denied?
Why were the Capitol Police basically letting people into the Capitol building?
6 calls for backup. They were denied.
Look, if you think we're talking through our assholes here, you are very welcome to look all this up. We all know. This is common knowledge, or at least it should be common knowledge at this point, that the Capitol insurrection, where a couple of people walked in, caused a little bit of damage, unlike the summer of violence that we've been having up and down this country.
Yeah.
And I'm sick of this double standard.
That's the big comparison.
I know, and I'm sick of this double standard.
Here's the thing is the thing that I think should kind of spark anybody and into kind of questioning the story and what's been presented to us is the fact that right away, without really even understanding what was happening, and I mean happening, like as it was happening, it was being called an insurrection.
Absolutely, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like it was being called like this, and okay, I have to say I'm not defending at all the violence that did occur and the deaths that did happen, and the damage of property.
You know what I was going to say there.
I am not defending that whatsoever. All of those people that are being charged now with federal offenses for that should be.
I wouldn't go that far. I mean, realistically speaking, some more than others, but that's the same with anything. Some more than others.
That was a big mistake. It's a big deal.
We talked about optics the other day about with Siki. Ted Cruz, going to Cancun to lasso the sun, as it were. Yeah. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but optically, it's a nightmare. Obviously, this optically is a nightmare. Unfortunately, with optics these days, people don't want to look into the nitty-gritty truth. They just don't want to do that.
Well, it was called out. It was called out and labeled as this type of event before they even understood what was happening.
Exactly, but it's called out and called something it isn't, realistically. Yeah. It's the first time in the last year, we'll say, that there actually has been a mostly peaceful protest in this country, in the streets, whereas you had CNN reporters standing in front of burning cars and burning buildings. And I blame the mainstream media for this. And you know the tale. They're standing in front of burning buildings, burning cars, and saying, it's a fiery but mostly peaceful protest. Hey. You were standing in front of something that looks like Afghanistan has just gone down in the background.
Hey Josh, can I actually stop you for a moment? Just a technical concern.
Go ahead. I'll fix it on the fly.
I'm not hearing myself through my headphones. Is my mic on?
Yes, your mic is on. Don't worry.
Is it?
Don't worry.
Because it doesn't sound like it.
No, you are on. Trust me, I hear you.
Are you sure?
I am 100%. What do you think I'm going to do? Sit here and have you in the background?
Because I'm just saying either that or my quality through the microphone is really poor.
Your headphones aren't great. That's what.
No, something's different. Something's wrong.
Now we can hear you, but you're going to hear the music too. So you got to choose.
Yeah.
You got a median balance.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. Sorry for interrupting. I just wanted to make sure.
No, you're on there. You're all good. Okay. You can always get closer to your mic.
I mean, there's no point in me really having the headphones in because I can't even. If you have it too low, then I can't hear.
I can hear you clear as a bell, my dear.
All right.
So anyway, I mean, before that technical issue, we're going to move on and talk about censorship. Obviously, what Stephen Crowder was. My big question about this is, if this has been so thoroughly debunked, and I'm not saying one way or the other. I think there was election meddling. Was there? And I'll follow Crowder's line on this because I do think. I think there was definitely meddling, but I don't know, was it enough to push over the edge? Did it have the impact? But at the end of the day, I want to know that we're having free and fair elections in this country. Right. Any country, unless you're a complete and utter banana republic, should know about this. You should care. That's fair enough. You should have the ability to ask the questions. The questions that Crowder are asking. The fact that you were being shut down so quickly.
Yeah.
Says it speaks a lot. It speaks volumes. Now, why are they doing that?
It shows you how fearful they are of the truth.
Yes, why
of potentially of people. So shutting down.
Now, here's the thing I was postulating in my head today.
That sounds a bit like
no.
That sounds like a bit, but like that shows
that's a good way of putting it.
That shows a side. That shows fear.
Well, that's the thing.
Not even just anger or wanting to shut things down. It actually does show fear.
So my question is, they're willing to.
What are they fearful?
They're willing to do
these
things. They're willing to do these things. If they're not hiding anything, why don't they show us what they're not hiding?
Right.
Why don't they lift it up and say, it was nothing, it was a mirage.
Yeah.
You were all upset about nothing. I could actually deal with that.
Yeah.
Not knowing tells me, okay, you're hiding something. Now, why are you hiding something?
Well, if the truth of this got out, people would be very angry and we might have an armed insurrection again.
If you actually are hiding something, you might have do you know how monumentally angry
this administration?
If this comes out, no, we're not talking about the administration here. I'm talking about the MSN and Twitter and big tech and social companies like this. This is what I'm talking about. You, Twitter, Jack Dorsey, Mark Zuckerberg, you people. That's who I'm calling out. I don't know who the CEO of the fine platform of YouTube.
You got some Josh Limbo.
No, you've got a
Rush
fire
Limbaugh.
under my ass. You've got a fire under my ass
What the
tonight.
heck? I can't even remember how to pronounce his last name.
Rush
I said
Limbaugh.
it's Limbaugh.
Let me
I'm
tell
gonna
you, people.
I'm going to call you Josh Limbaugh right now.
I think there's a big tech conspiracy in this country. My name is Rush Limbaugh.
That is not what he sounds
Yeah,
like.
it's
Now that I've actually listened to a
Close
clip of
enough.
him.
Well, anyway. So the big thing, obviously, I mean, the big topic is I want to talk about is censorship.
Okay, yeah.
Censorship of the
Sorry,
truth.
when I think of censorship, I do think of when you're talking about Twitter and suspension, I do think of the bans and Parler being demolished and
Parler,
other,
yeah.
other platforms like that. So that's
Yeah.
why I kind of spiraled into that. I like that. Like I went
So-
on to that tangent, but go ahead.
Censorship is in.
Get on to your
I mean,
main
censorship,
point.
in my opinion, is a very, very, very convenient way to bar the truth from getting out there. That's the
Right.
way I would look at it. And I'm taking this election cycle as a case study more than anything. If you're hiding something and it is as bad as you say, you better hope that you're successful and you don't find out, because this country will fall apart. The country's gone if that's the case. The country will fall apart at the seams. You will see. You're probably going to be looking at secessionism groups. You're probably going to be looking at states looking to leave. This is history. This is historical. I'm not, and believe me, I want to be very, very clear here. I'm not inciting anything. I'm not looking for a call to arms, a call to violence. I am calling for the truth. Is what I'm calling for here. It's very, that's honestly what I want. I want the truth. At this point, I will take the truth if it's put out there, and there's at least some semblance of an apology. I'm going to be mad, but
Yeah.
I believe in redemption. I do believe in redemption, so I will give you that chance. Because there is a knee-jerk reaction. Will there be violence? Oh, you keep a lie from people because there could be violence. I understand that. There is an understandable thing. But this affects too many people to be keeping a lie in. This isn't your boyfriend and girlfriend who's like, how many drinks did you have? I had 3. Really, Josh? Projecting,
Wait,
am I?
you have a girlfriend?
No, you. Projecting, am I? And then it's like, okay, I've had 16. Now, that affects 2 people. It's their business. This is the business of a country I'm talking about. This affects everybody from sea to golden shining sea. That's who this affects. If you're hiding something, it'll probably come out in the wash when the brass tacks are down. When the brass tacks are down, you know, there's going to be a lot of people at your front door. Social media. So, just by virtue of going after Stephen Crowder, who is not saying there was election fraud. I'm not saying there's election fraud. Brittany's not saying there's election fraud. We just want to know. Show us some proof. Don't just be rushing to debunk things. Don't be rushing to debunk things. Let's look at some facts. Give us your sources. Don't be saying, well, informed sources that don't wish to be named. That means you got dick. You got nothing. You got nothing. You're writing fan fiction. You're writing fantasy. You're Bob Chipman. Movie Bob. You slob at this point. That's who you are. And no, I will call Movie Bob out on that one. You are a slob. So, of course, I want to talk again, censorship. I keep circling it back. I'm like Jim Psaki, circling back here. I mean, censorship is always wrong, in my opinion. Okay, not always wrong. It's more nuanced than that. But on the whole, censorship's a bad thing. We're talking about music. PRMC. Brittany, you remember the Filthy 15 in the 1980s, led by Tipper Gore.
Uh-huh.
And it was.
I mean, I wasn't born, but yeah.
Well, yes, you were. You weren't
I don't
born.
remember.
This
I
is
know
true.
of.
But obviously, you know, the rush to censor music because
Yeah.
it's filthy. Oh, they're filthy. And pearl clutching. Oddly enough, I always equated it with pearl clutching Republicans when I was growing up.
Right, yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Tipper Gore couldn't be more Democratic Party. Al Gore's wife. I mean, how do you get this stupidity? I guess I shouldn't be surprised. The more I go on in life, I shouldn't be surprised really by it. But radio, talk radio. I was watching a clip the other day, Crossfire from the early 90s, and I only realized this that it's quite literally and I've only learned this very recently. There was very, very little conservative talk anywhere. Rush Limbaugh quite literally was the pioneer of conservative. He opened the door for conservative talk, radio, conservative personalities,
right?
And
To have an audience, yeah.
Yes, exactly.
curate an audience of
The
people
biggest
like,
radio
"Oh."
audience of all time in
Yeah.
American history, by the way, probably. 20 million average listeners a day. That is an incredible achievement. And the big thing is here that I want to
Keep
get
on
into.
picking up your beer and putting it
I know.
back down again.
I know. The big thing about it here is that talk radio back then by the elites of the news networks, the mainstream news networks, was called the frat house of civil discourse. This is the frat house of civil discourse. And here we have two radio presenters, one being Limbaugh and the other, I forget who. But he was a little more of a liberal guy. And it was interesting. It was interesting to see how actually civil discourse would actually take place in those days. Television, talk radio, television. The FCC, you know, they loved, I mean, well, they certainly did more so than ever. I mean, Janet Jackson, her nip slip. Now, I admit that's a family event. That's maybe something you should be like, ugh. But you shouldn't.
Well, it was just
but you shouldn't
cringy.
have. It's cringy, yeah. But I mean, also,
It wasn't like particularly offensive. It was kind of like, what were you even trying to go for there?
Well, exactly. But I mean, like,
And then they had to and then because it wasn't received very well, they had to they had to come up with some bullshit term of it was a wardrobe malfunction.
But you know, it was 15 people. You know, I'm exaggerating, of course, but it was probably about 15 pearl-clutching mothers. My children, my children were watching that. They're like the mayor in Jaws. Martin, my kids are on that beach too.
I don't know
It's
if
like-
it was just because of like mothers being offended. I think it was just like people were just more like, what the fuck was that?
Very true.
And just in general, like, what I mean by it just wasn't well received. It was comical. It was not shocking. It was shocking / like, are you serious? Like,
Are you
what,
serious?
Like, what the hell was that?
Mm-hmm.
And because it wasn't received well, then, I don't think is as cool as I thought it was. So I think
Yeah.
there's a different view on it.
Yeah.
Were there people offended? Probably, yeah. But
Oh,
I
yeah.
think it was just because.
Again, a handful, maybe 15 people. I mean, that's quite literally all we might be even talking about there. Some people were offended. But really, I mean, to have a knee-jerk reaction, the fines, we stand for, you know, the thing.
The fines? The fine brothers?
Fines, yeah, there's fines. If you
Oh, I don't know.
if you
The
breach an
fines?
FCC regulation,
Yeah.
there are fines, and they will
Yeah.
impose new ones based on the outrage. Family Guy did an incredibly good episode about that before. PTV, I think, was the episode. It was actually the season 4 opener, when, you know, because of the whole David Hyde Pierce situation, where
Can you
his
please talk like Brian while you're talking about this episode?
I think it was the whole David Hyde Pierce situation. His pants fell down. No, I'm not going to do Brian. That's hard to do. I got to really lower my voice for that one. But Peter, what were you thinking?
Yeah.
Why did you drop your pants in front of? You dropped your pants in front of Hillary Clinton? So did I. You wouldn't believe what I did with his pants afterwards. Whatever. Blech. Boo. Thank you. But so the FCC, obviously, PRMC were the first big ones in my consciousness. I mean, what did the PRMC really do? They made these albums more appetizing to the youth that they were trying to protect. Ooh, this is edgy. This is not anything nobody. This isn't anything nobody knows already. But like this is edgy. I want to listen to Judas Priest. I want to hear that song "Eat Me Alive." You know, the song about forcing somebody to give you oral sex at gunpoint. I heard "Eat Me Alive"
Nice.
when I was about 15 or 16 years of age. Not once did the lyrics ever come
Do you
into my
have
head that was about.
Fantasy, you're fantasizing having violent sex crimes against young women?
I can honestly say I wasn't.
It's
No.
pretty well known. Damn, that really vibrated in my ear.
Sorry.
It's pretty well known at this point that there's always going to be
A criminal element.
there's always going to be us demonizing something that the youth are enjoying.
Oh, yeah.
And it's also really what I was trying to also say is that it should be really well known that there's no research at all backing up that violence in lyrics or violence in video games causes children to be violent and just scums of society. There's actually no evidence, and they've been doing research research of this for decades now.
This is very true.
And I mean, I guess like the new thing that parents are trying to protect their children from, like obviously, obviously there's always going to be drugs and alcohol and substance abuse and unsafe sex, like that's not going to go away.
Woo.
But then it's also like, social media, like it's just something that they don't understand yet, and that's new.
That's the next big thing. But so many kids are now on social media that they believe that when it comes to free speech, Twitter, Facebook, all these communities that were supposed to like embody free speech, they were supposed to be your little platform. I always said it. Facebook became the living room that you lived in. And Twitter.
You coined this?
No, I didn't coin this, but I've said this. I'm sure somebody said it before, but I came to it independently.
Go on. I know. I've heard you say it before.
But Twitter is the little soapbox that you stand on, say your little piece. I think, and then you get down and you head off for the rest of your day. Facebook is the living room you build your
because you kind of like invite people. Like it's almost like having somebody sit down on your couch and showing them like your coffee book of like pictures and photos of like your family and like highlights from your vacation.
And ironically enough, I think Facebook has fallen apart from that as of late. You don't see that.
No,
Facebook
only
is not
old
used.
people use Facebook. Only like our parents, like
but all
in
they
their
ever do
50s
is put up,
and 60s use Facebook.
And all they ever really put up are like, I took this quiz, which has hundreds of adverts.
Well, that's your parents.
Well, quizzes, advertising.
My dad just uses it as a photo album, basically.
And that's fair. But I mean, everything you see nowadays that is really going up on Facebook, for the most part, now there are outliers. Just like you were saying with the kids, that's a big point of this as well, is outliers. Not every kid is going to be affected by a violent video game, but there is always going to be that one outlier. Facebook again. But it's not your living room anymore but there are outliers who use it that way. Mostly because the ads have ruined it, and it's gotten ridiculous. It's mostly a meme central. It's meme central now. That's really all it is. It's no better than you could look up /memes on Reddit and you'd find basically the same thing at this point.
That's just a huge misconception too, to just feel like, there were all the warning signs, like they were playing this, like talking about like Columbine shooters, like they were playing like a modern version of like Doom or some games that were like them in a school. It's just like that, and actually the way that was covered by the media has been really actually
well, the media use it to scare you.
No, it's been shamed now.
Well, good.
You can see that there's one shift that the media has done that's been better, is not scandalizing and not spotlighting like such horrible events like that.
No, the media do that.
They still do that, but like at least you can see there's a little bit more decorum about it, because they've been criticized enough for it. Like,
is it really?
Like, yeah.
Have you noticed a change?
At least I'm hearing it. At least I'm hearing people being more outspoken about like that's not how you should cover that story. Like, don't put a fucking attractive picture of the Boston Marathon bomber and like like things like
the
that.
The glamorization,
they have been criticized heavily, and like one of the biggest ones that stand out to me are Columbine. Has been now. Looking back, has been criticized heavily for its coverage.
Absolutely.
And then like the one that's like most recent in my memory would be like the Boston City Marathon. But you saw that was when Columbine happened, people were sensationalizing that. People were actually immersed in that and engaged in that.
Yeah.
When the Boston Marathon bomb happened, they were called out right away. Rolling Stone magazine, they do that cover.
Yeah.
They were called out right away. The public was like, "No, you do not do this."
You're making a terrorist sexy to stupid teen girls who will be looking at this magazine and just basing them off looks. It's the whole thing.
It was intentional. Like they showed like the lighting that they did, like the Photoshop work. Like
we watched about the killer in California. What was that documentary called? What was he called? What was his
Night Stalker.
Night Stalker, yeah. Richard Ramirez. Yeah. And the guy smelled like a ghost, looked like shit, and had meth mouth to boot, girls were throwing themselves at
Well,
this guy.
that's always going to happen.
Yeah.
When someone's thrown in cuffs and in jail
Because
for
they
a
are
notorious
because you
crime.
get these sexy pictures of them on the front page.
No,
Oh, he's so
No,
broken.
I don't think
bet I could fix him.
no. It's
I
not.
bet I
it's
could
not,
fix him.
It's not as simple as that. It's a little
No.
more complicated.
It's not as simple as that for you because you're an actual rational woman.
No. But there's actual.
There are broken
like,
women out there who
no, there's-
believe this.
There's actually like research and like understanding that there's a psychosis when that happens. Like there's actually, and it's always gonna happen.
It is always, but there's no point in chumming the waters for these
I don't
sharks.
think they sensationalize or sexualize Richard Ramirez at all.
Just by virtue of his picture and choosing the best shots they could get of him. Yeah, I think that's
know about
that's a way. If you commit a crime as heinous as these guys do, you should be. This is his name. No pictures, nothing else.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, after they catch you. Now, before that, you should be getting like, this is probably what he's going to look like. He's going to look like shit. But don't dress him up and doll him up. It's like, now it's time for your close-up, Richard Ramirez. You know, we're not going to have a picture of you coyly looking over your shoulder and giving a smirk, hiding your teeth, but giving you what you know is that beautiful smile that people probably at one point in your life trusted. I'm not talking about Richard Ramirez here, but
Like Ted Bundy.
Ted Bundy, yeah, exactly,
like
Ted
that.
Bundy. That smile that people
Are you
trust.
that's a clap for Ted Bundy?
No, that's clap for you remembering Ted
Oh.
Bundy. Who could forget
Clap
old
for Ted Bundy.
Ted? But I mean, I just want to go through a couple of people
Anyway,
here. I mean,
yeah, sorry, went on a bit of a tangent
No, that's
there.
true. That's fine. But the social media dominance and free speech not being protected. Stephen Crowder,
No,
Anthony Cumia, probably, arguably the first man to actually be, permanently suspended, as is his book title and it's the word he uses. But little plug for you there, Ant. But
Oh, yeah.
but arguably one of the first high-profile people to be suspended indefinitely from Twitter because of something he said, and it wasn't as they said in the news media. It wasn't racial, technically. It wasn't particularly violent. You can read the tweets. Internet is forever, apparently. He's making a point after he'd gotten beaten up by a woman of, a different race in Times Square. It's just what happened. And he said there's a problem in the community, that the first jump to call to arms is violence. Now, he's not talking about every single person of color in this country. He's not. He's not even talking about every community of person of culture. There's different. It's like white people. I'm going to avoid white guys who look dangerous.
do you really want to get into the critical race theory
I
right now?
really
That's a
don't.
whole other subject.
We're
that
just
we
gonna
can
stop
talk
that
about.
there.
Plus, I would say don't get me started, but at the same time, I really would like to collect talking points on that before I talk
Very
about the
true.
subject.
But, I mean, you're cancelled for that. And he was cancelled because he was a conservative voice on a very, very, very popular radio show, Opie and Anthony. Look at Howard Stern. There's a reason Howie's still going, ho, Robin. Robin, there's a reason I'm still going, Robin. It's because I suck up to the I
Pull
suck
back
up
the
to
reins.
I suck up to the Hollywood elite now, Robin. Hollywood Howie. Let's go out to my place in the Hamptons. Hoo, Robin.
I still always think you're doing a Robin Williams. when
No,
you do that.
but that's basically he was. The President of the United States, Donald J. Trump, when he was booted off Twitter, that is a scary precedent. That is quite literally, it doesn't matter who you are. Look what we did to this guy, and I'm paraphrasing here from, again, the way I heard it put, but it's the best way that's ever been put. Look what we did to this guy. What chance do you have? Hold your applause, because that is not a good thing to hear.
No, like, yeah,
that is
here-
frightening. That is a
here-
frightening precedent.
Here's just something I have to say on free speech in general in America. And there's actually some of these talking points that I have are kind of taken from Dinesh D'Souza. He has
Yes.
a clip from his podcast that I just watched that's highlighting, and that the highlight clip is called "What Happened to Real Free Speech in America." And lately we kind of see this. It's kind of terrifying because we see this McCarthyism like aimed at the right, condemning conservatives. And I'm not just talking about the fringe radical or the morons, the hundreds of
Of which
morons
there are.
that went into the Capitol.
Of which there are.
Yeah.
There's morons on every side.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm talking about, the fringe, like
Yeah.
the extreme on either end. like I remember seeing something that's like all Republicans need to be condemned. Like that's really scary.
That is scary.
No matter where you stand, if as an American you should see that and think that's scary.
That is
just condemn a whole group of people.
That is going to lead you to a second civil war.
Yeah, so
that's division.
Yeah, so
that's divisiveness.
All right. So causing like, you know, condemning conservatives, like silence, demonize, and purge is like kind of what you keep seeing, like silencing people, demonizing the other side, and just a purge from even their own people. You can see them attacking their own to get rid of them because they're setting a new standard of moral.
Yeah.
This is part of a, you know, this is part of like a restart
It's a
button
cultural
for them.
it's a cultural cleansing. It's a cultural cleansing.
Yeah, and it is. And no matter where you stand on the issue or where you are, like is happening. So it, you know, lately everybody thinks of the United States as having to defend the Second Amendment, right? Yeah. But
the first.
But the first, yeah. But this for the first time in
this
recent time is like the First Amendment being under attack. And everyone.
Yeah.
And everyone is for free speech, right? But you can say that, but wait until you start to hit some hot button issues with people, and then they will want to just cancel something, shut down, fire somebody, label it as hate speech,
absolutely.
just because they don't, you know, they don't maybe have the same opinions or it doesn't hold the same values as them. So that's what they're caused to. They have that trigger finger to just turn to anger, intolerance, and that's never going to unify the country.
No,
if that's
never.
how you treat the other
But it's not unity they're looking for. They're looking for control.
I know that, but they're claiming, this administration is claiming to be transparent and wants to heal and unify the country.
It's
but then you hear things like lists are being made of like who voted for Donald Trump, and like and people being, and like, you know, people like on like that Disney Plus actress from Star Wars getting fired and only knowing she got fired over a public tweet that everybody else saw. She learned when everybody else did that she got fired.
Perfect segue, by the way, because we are going to move into pressing the presses here. But what you said there, exactly.
But
and
here's my bottom line. Here's my bottom line, though.
It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, but here's my bottom line that I wanted to end on with my point is that Big Brother. I mean, you have people like the Nexuses who are actually like comparing like deep state, elite left as Big Brother, and that we could be approaching like a 1984 situation. If you want to get really extreme about it,
I think we're already there with social media the way it is.
Yes,
I think we're already there.
Yes, and social and big tech is almost acting like a government entity now. So they actually are infringing on people's First Amendment. Yeah, they are because they have so much power. That was from a lawyer, or you know, someone who was a lawyer that's Megyn Kelly's view on things. She said that the guy CEO of First Parlor could have been actually causing a lawsuit against First Amendment because she's like, you can actually classify them now as a government entity infringing on your First Amendment rights.
This is true.
Anyway, so Big Brother, I think a big tech now. And I'm not somebody who uses social media to voice opinions, but I feel it's really important because and the social media bans have just been adding fuel to the fire. Like banning, like that extreme of banning and silencing Trump was probably one of the worst things as far as trying to disarm a situation. You just took people that were no, it wasn't a panic situation. I think it was a stupid choice because you took people that were angry. And how are you going to make them more angry?
You make stupid decisions in a panic. Yeah.
No. How are you going to make people more angry? Do you think that's going to help them, calm them down?
No, not even.
By making them feel like they're being shut out and they can't communicate anymore.
Not even close.
So and I do believe that people need to voice their opinions and be heard because I think there really is. I mean, we are just animals after all, and there really is a thin line between words and us communicating with each other and killing each other and hurting each other and violence erupting. So
we don't want that.
And that thin line, the barrier is freedom of speech.
Yes, absolutely.
So when you take that away, you take away that barrier. That's kind of just how I view it.
Excellently put. None of it makes sense, and I am going to leave a man sign off from this segment with a man who knows more than most. Doesn't make sense. Anthony? Does any of this make sense?
It doesn't make sense, you dick!
Thank you, sir. By the way, I listen to your show every weekday from 2 to 4 Phoenix time. That's 2 to 4 Phoenix time. Anthony Cumia show with Dave Lando. Just throwing you a few props there, Ant. And please get me on the network. I'm dying down here. I'm dying. No, of course not. I'm enjoying doing what I'm doing, and I'm enjoying listening to everybody from HMS in the mornings to Anthony. Hell, I'm starting to consume
Well, don't
media.
tell the
I am
audience.
starting to consume the media. Consume the media. I am ravenous. I'm ravenous, friend.
Which is
I really
now
shouldn't be
considered
throwing that- I shouldn't be
alternate
throwing that.
media because it's really kind of what you.
Alternate is best at this point, and you should really be listening to our show because
Yeah, you're telling them all
We're-
these better things to go listen to.
yeah, but I mean we're supplementary, you know, until the point. I mean, look, Anthony's not going to be around forever. John Holmberg is not going to be around forever. Rush Limbaugh just died. Rogan is the king of late night.
Wait, are you saying
Crowder
we're
is
the up and
Crowder,
coming?
Shapiro, the Young Turks. If that's your cup of piss, you know, it's movie
If that's your
slob,
line of bullshit.
movie slob hunting Hooters girls. I went after him on Twitter earlier. But
what
yes,
the
we are
fuck
going to
you're
move
talking
on.
about.
We
Alright,
are
move on.
We are going to move
Ooh,
on.
they got
and-
a little spicy in that last in that first opening segment.
and you know what? I am proud of us because this has been a long time coming. This has been a long time coming for me, especially. I am done
We've always
being polite. I am done
Yeah.
being polite. You know what? Politeness doesn't get you an audience. I am done with it, and I really need an audience. So this is my selling out moment. Let it be my selling out moment. Brittany is along for the ride, so let's get into the next segment.
I guess so. I guess I am.
Let's get into the next segment
All right, do
very,
it.
very quickly. Here we go. This, you know it, you love it. This is where we press the presses. The weekly news is good for you and bad for me to talk about. All right, so the first one, obviously tying back to our previous discussion.
Oh, Disney. Disney Plus.
Well, actually, yes. Okay, let's start there. So we did have the segue, even though you drove that segue off a cliff and into
I did
the
not
ocean.
drive it off a cliff. I was just meandering it back to the final line I wanted to say.
You're the kind of person who takes a rental car out for a drive and it comes back with 30,000 miles on it. Oh, I like it. It's a nice car. It's missing a wheel.
I don't know what the fuck you're saying. I thought I was very eloquent and on point.
I think you were eloquent, on point, a little long-winded, but it's okay.
words.
You're married to an Irishman. It's okay.
In
So Illinois lawmakers
the way
want to
I
ban Grand Theft Auto due to a spike in carjackings. What year is this?
Yeah, right.
What year is this? When did the last GTA game come out? 2013. They want to ban it now? You think every kid who's currently hijacking a car is going to stop playing the game now?
Yeah, once again, that is not the root nor the seed that planted it.
Exactly.
That is not the that is not the child's problem. Like that's such it's like such like, well, we're gonna find something to cure to cure this. It's like, no, that's not the solution. So stupid.
I do love this, by the way. This is a quote I took from the newspapers. Some of the carjacking suspects are not even old enough to drive. If you're gonna break the law, are you really gonna? Hey, Tony, let's rob a car. I don't know, Jimmy. I don't have my license. I'm not old enough to drive. I don't want to end up like the other guy. Who was the other guy? This guy. Double use of that one. On Monday, a 16-year-old was charged, and days ago, 2 15-year-olds were arrested and charged as well. 16 is old enough to drive, I believe. Two 15-year-olds. Okay, so we've tipped scales there just a little
They
bit.
should have their driving permit,
Maybe. By the way, don't you just love it?
which means that
Don't you just love it when people?
yeah.
This is the final part.
Do I love
This
it?
is the final.
Do you mean by love it?
When
Do you mean
people
hate
who
it?
are not qualified to talk about anything
Yeah.
talk about shit they shouldn't be talking about, don't you just love that? And
That
you
is
get
what that is
you get-
basically what social media
Yeah.
is. That's why I don't
philanthropist. Philanthropist. I want you to be very, very aware of this word.
Pissed.
Philanthropist.
Pissed off.
Early Walker says violent video games like GTA could be influencing their young
God,
minds.
that's like just proven since like the fucking 80s. It's not. There's no actual factual, research-based evidence
Once
on
again,
that.
there are outliers. There are outliers who, yes, there's a
But
crazy
it will
kid.
never be the seed or the
No.
root or the cause. There's
No.
something else going on that's
I would
much
say it's
deeper.
living in Chicago, and
Yeah.
it's either rob a car or get shot. Your choice, especially if you're on the south side. The second piece of news,
Yeah.
you know what? We did these backwards because
I know, I noticed that. I don't know why you did that. I'm
Anyway.
like, talking about Disney, GTA.
Yeah, I got that right.
You fucking asshole. You talking about me driving off my Segway off the cliff. Jesus Christ. I was giving it back to him. Like, yeah, we're talking about
Okay,
Disney Plus.
Well,
They
let's
can't
just do a
pay
Jen. Let's just do a Jen Psaki and circle back. The Muppets are now racist
Yes.
according to Disney. The Muppets. Disney Plus has slapped
Yeah.
a censorship warning.
Yep.
Censorship. By the way, for these cards,
Can I read the statement?
you can read the statement if you wouldn't mind, please.
All right,
Like my news.
so-
Get your mic and get it right.
Is it right?
No, it's fine, but you got to move it just a little bit because you move your head and the mic doesn't follow you.
Okay.
So just
This
come on, I want to hear
Okay,
your
here's
broadcast.
the- here's the
I want to
statement.
hear your broadcast voice.
This program includes negative depictions and/or mistreatment of people or cultures. These stereotypes were wrong then and are wrong now. Rather than remove this content, we want to acknowledge its harmful impact, learn from it, and spark conversation to create a more inclusive future together. The disclaimer states, oh, sorry, that wasn't in quotes. Disney is committed to creating stories with inspirational and aspirational themes that reflect the rich diversity of the human experience around the globe. So, actually,
Hold
no,
on.
hey,
No,
hey.
I have a response to that. I have a response.
No,
to
I
that.
have a response to
No,
that.
so do I. Hang on, 1 second.
Yeah. All right. So, no, very clever. Actually, that is such a good thing to just put a stamp on. It's like, don't get offended. Don't get offended. I think that's actually quite clever. But I do have something to say. The first time I actually ever saw this statement, was a few years ago. I was watching Fantasia or clips from Fantasia.
Do you think you could actually talk about that and spiel away with it for 2 seconds?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'll
You
be
gotta
right
go-
back.
You gotta go potty.
I gotta go potty. I'll be right back.
I gotta go potty too, but I think I can hold it till the end of the show.
I'll be right
Okay,
back.
wow, that's creepy. Don't stroke your peen while you think of your audience. Okay. All right. Yeah, so the first time I ever saw that statement was watching clips of Fantasia, and I saw this, and yes, there is a scene in Fantasia of a very caricatured depiction of a black girl, and I'm talking about the dark face, big red lips, but that was made in the 1940s, and I actually thought that was seeing that statement, I thought was actually kind of cool that they didn't erase history, they just allowed it still to be viewed, but then just put it into a context and a lens of like how to view it, and like not to just get upset about it, but just actually, okay, that was a thing that happened, all right, moving on. So that was basically it. Jump back in, because that's all I really had to say about it.
No,
so,
I understand that. I do understand that.
That I can totally understand.
I made it back very quickly. Fortunately, our bathroom is very close to the studio, so
Yeah.
if the studio.
You always get so tickled at yourself every time you say that. It's not the first time you
Because
said
if
it.
this is a studio, I am a walrus.
It's like we're in a studio apartment.
Well, look at you go!
We got our dig set up here
Terrible.
in this room.
Oh yeah, but no. I mean, I understand that. I mean, yeah, it was a different time. You can't hold today's standards to yesterday's standards.
But I mean that
You
you kind
are-
of
You can't hold yesterday's standards to today's.
Then
Something like that.
then-
You know what I mean?
then you would maybe toy with the wording a little bit more about we're wrong then and are wrong now. I think that's actually fair enough.
Yeah,
There are some things that
yeah.
you can be like, you can just straight up be like, yeah, that was fucked up. I'm sorry.
But then again, the thing is, when you're a kid, you don't think of it like that. I don't look at it.
I
don't look at a piece of felt that has been stitched together. Hey, Miss Piggy. I don't look at it that way with its hand up its ass and think, oh, this is horrifying.
But Josh-
I don't look at Dr. Teeth and think, oh my God,
yeah.
who are they? Who are they insulting?
Dr. Teeth, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know. I just
The
always thought,
Muppets. Dr. Teeth is the band.
I don't really know the Muppets very well, to be honest with you.
Oh.
Are they calling the Swedish chef racist?
Maybe it's Beaker. Maybe Beaker is offensive to meth heads.
I don't know the Muppets very well, so I'm going to be honest with you. So I wouldn't know anything that could cause anybody to get triggered. But
Statler and Waldorf are ageist.
But nowadays, it's not about intent. It's not about context.
It's about feelings.
It's about impact. Like it said, like that. It's a harm, or acknowledge its harmful impact. And so Disney are on top of like how the culture is moving, and so.
No.
And I don't like Disney.
No.
I don't like Disney, but like I can see how like in a lawyer point of view, this is like this kind of. I'm just saying it's clever.
My big thing.
I'm just giving it props
No, hang on.
Because like
wait.
this
is where I'm really going to disagree with you. No. Go on.
No,
I heard you. I listened to you.
I'm being kind of devil's advocate about it a little bit. But there's part of me that looks at it and I just go, clever girl about it. I'm not saying I agree with it, that it needs to even be a statement like this needs to be even made. I'm just saying I can see why they're doing it, and I think it's kind of clever. That's all I'm calling out.
You really are playing devil's advocate.
And then, like I said, seeing that was interesting the first time I saw it.
Okay. Now,
but I thought it was also, I actually like that they have a statement attached to it rather than totally erasing this.
Now, here's the thing.
That's just what
Here's the thing, and allow me to get a little bit satirical. I watched Tom and Jerry all my life.
Yeah.
Mama. Thomas!
Yeah.
Thomas!
Stop.
Never had any. To me, Mama, she was an authority figure, somebody Thomas was afraid of. And I always thought, that poor cat, he is an asshole mouse and an authority figure. I felt like he was a kid. I felt like I was me. Constantly picked on, but had to answer to the authority figure. I never thought of it in terms of race.
No,
this is my point. Never thought of it in terms of race. Only ever thought of it in terms of race when Whoopi Goldberg came out and said, the depictions here. And, that was a whole thing. She did that. And I was like, and all I thought to myself, and again, this was nothing to do with race. In my head, I was going, who's this bitch keeping me from my cartoons? I just want to watch my cartoons. I don't need a lecture. I go to school to be lectured. And I'm not thinking about it that way. So I don't want a new generation of kids like, Mama, what's racism? Because they're trying to watch the Muppet Show.
That'd be
awesome. They're not going to understand it. No, it's not awesome. As Morgan Freeman once said, stop talking about it. Let's talk to each other I will talk to you as a man or a woman. And you will talk to me as a man. You're not going to talk to me like I'm a drunk Irishman. You're not going to talk to me like that. I think
you're kind of missing the mark on this a little bit. And it doesn't use the word racism. It says just negative depiction and mistreatment of people or their cultures.
It was written by an Imagineer.
And okay, let me just tell you, this isn't written for somebody with your experience in mind. You're a cis male.
Oh my
white
God.
male, okay? This has nothing to do with. See, that's what I'm telling you. It's about impact. Just because you're not impacted negatively by this content does not mean that this statement shouldn't be made for other people to read that could be negatively impacted by it.
No.
I'm just playing devil's advocate.
You are the. What? Yeah.
But I'm just telling you.
You're the worst devil's advocate.
No, I'm just rebuttaling like why you're upset about why are you so negatively impacted by this statement?
Why aren't you a fan of mine? Why you got such a great ass? You need to be more of a fan of a man and take care of that great ass.
I'm just saying
devil's advocate.
I'm just taking the positive. The silver lining to this is that I'm glad they're not just erasing things like tearing down statues, changing names of schools. I'm glad that they're like, for history, we will show this to you.
All right.
Like,
okay.
we're not going
to
abolish this or erase it or scoot it under the rug. It's still here, but just understand this. Disclaimer.
Alrighty. Well,
I think disclaimers are fine.
That was a fine, spirited argument, I believe. But
I don't think it was an argument.
I think it kind of was. But we are going to very, very quickly move on to the next segment. Very, very quick.
Okay.
Very, very
quick.
Do
your Twitterology update, and I will go take a piss.
Well, one of them is very much. You're going to take a piss. This was very necessary. That
I hear you.
Dual, and you need to see this.
Okay, I need to see it.
Well, you need to see one or two things. So, okay, so I'll tell you what. I'll just finish up pressing the presses by saying I don't believe in censorship of any form. I don't believe in disclaimers. I don't believe in a corporation telling parents or telling children something they should be learning from their parents. Education starts in the home. It's not up to Disney. It's not up to anybody outside of the child's home to tell them what they can or can't listen to. And this is a very good way, I think, to end the whole censorship debate, I guess, as it were. Parenting is needed. If you have good parenting, you have good kids, you won't have them hijacking cars in Chicago streets and then blaming Grand Theft Auto. You won't blame your raging racist son on the fact that, you know, he saw a cartoon once that made him think, you know, a cartoon is responsible for the fact that
those crows are really cool.
Yeah, but those crows were fucking cool. And I never saw them as racists, caricatures. It's later when you realize, oh, he's Jim Crow. I think I just done about seen everything. When I don't see no elephant fly. It's like, no, I didn't think of it that way. I didn't think of it that way.
Yeah, I think people are smart enough to realize that
people are smart enough
up.
that we're consistently treated like we're fucking stupid. We're consistently talked down to and demeaned. And I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it.
All right. Reel it in.
Let's
rope
move
it in.
on quickly to Twitterology.
Sorry for stepping away for a second and then I'm actually apologizing to the audience for that. Continue unleashing of your whatever the fuck is going on with you tonight.
Yeah, shut up. Right, so there's an update on the oval porpoise.
Oh God!
You remember we spoke about the oval porpoise? Go
Yeah,
back 2 episodes if you want to hear about that.
No, that was this last episode, wasn't it?
No, that was the episode
2
before.
episodes. You're right.
Yes,
you're right.
but the Twitter account was suspended. Thank
Good.
God. All I need to know. I can start loving dogs again.
Do you know why it was suspended though?
No. Nobody really seems to know. Again, I don't think they should be suspended.
Ruh-roh,
I
the
thought
election was rigged.
Right? Raggy! Like Zoink Scope! The election was rigged!
That's weird that it was suspended.
Holy shit, Raggy!
Maybe it was just maybe they. I don't know why it would be suspended, but all right. If you don't have a reason, then move on.
Well, you know,
there's not really much to say about it.
There's not really much to say about it. And you know, I didn't want it to be suspended. You know what? It gave me great ire. It really allowed me to be angry. That was really fun.
See, you get angry easily. So you're stirred to anger easily. I'm just kind of like.
But it was fun. But also another thing I did want to show you. And I have it here. This is also from Twitter, and it's possibly one of my favorite videos.
Okay.
Ever at this point. Can we stop that music? Oh, that's how you stop it.
Please stop that music.
Oh, my bad. This is Big Girl Goes Whomp. Can you see that?
Yeah, I can see that. Once again, thank you for picking a purely visual thing for our audio listeners out there. So a car is doing like one of those
donuts.
What do you call it?
Donuts.
No, it's not. It's a donut. Yeah.
It's a donut. And
so it's whipping its back end, and there for some reason there's this woman. And
this massive woman.
Right next to it, like she's gonna stop it like the Hulk or something. I don't know what she's trying to do.
Massive woman.
Oh please! Why do you have to bring that up?
Believe me. Well,
so
it's a visual medium, and I have to people have to understand that she's about the size of one of Saturn's larger moons, and that is how I feel about that.
She's
basically body work.
Okay, if I'm going to describe,
there's going to be a lot of body work on both ends of this spectrum.
Yeah, very good. If I could describe her, I would say it's like remember ever hearing those like news is like obesity is on the rise in the Midwest, and like they like show like just film of like people like B-roll of people on the streets. That's what you kind of look like.
It's kind of like that. This one also I found for you
wearing spandex to really show off all those roles.
This one is also obviously very visual, and I actually found this one on Instagram, so it's not technically Twitterology.
Thank you for your visual contribution.
But look at all those ducks.
Look at all those chickens.
Aren't they adorable? Little ducks just doing what little ducks do.
Really, Josh? Mm-hmm. Really? You're just... But they... Yeah. Okay, wait, shh. Listen to him, though. No,
just watch.
Ah, I got scared, actually. Oh, my God. I actually got...
So I told you to watch, you dummy. Come on, watch again. I have unfortunately no way to scrub this. I have no way to scrub this. Look. We're ducks. We give no fucks. It's a little bobcat.
It looks like a lynx, actually.
He comes out of nowhere, ninja style, and fucks up some
Wait, why is
ducks.
somebody duck hunting? Was that a person shooting a gun?
No.
Then what was that?
What do you mean, what was that?
What was that sound?
It was the ducks all beating their
It
wings
sounded
together.
like a fucking shotgun blast.
No, I think you might be mental, if that's the case. That was the ducks beating their wings like nuts, trying to get away from the monster that just came out of the
sounded
bushes
like
after them.
a fucking gunshot, though.
No. It's just I turned it up really at the last second just for your benefit because I knew you would jump.
No, because I was just enjoying the little. I personally was finding entertainment value in just a little duck to as they were eating. All right.
Okay, and
Good times. But that was a genuine. That scream was genuine. Like I actually did get startled.
she was tossed right back into her seat. It was hilarious.
I'm no longer lounging. I'm now in the alert position.
She's in the alert position. And speaking of the alert position, Brittany, this will be a great time because this is the part of the show where Britt gets to do her bit. So, Britt, if you wouldn't mind, please do your bit.
You like saying the word bit a lot. Welcome. This is the potpourri part of the program where I get to talk about whatever the hell I want. And in Britt's Bits fashion, I do have a few short stories depending on how long you want to talk about them.
Well, let's get to them.
So, all right. So the first one is the Cincinnati. What if I want to play my clip?
You do it on your phone.
What about the music?
That's through the computer. Stop.
Oh, okay. I gotcha. Sorry. Cincinnati. Sorry for me
This
to
is why
concentrate.
this is why I do the production.
Cincinnati CPB, Customs and Border Protection, intercepted a shipment of cocaine frosted flakes.
Gotta be a little faster about that, but very good.
Part of a balanced and nutritious breakfast. 44 pounds were recovered.
It's a big box.
44 pounds recovered had been shipped from South America to Hong Kong.
Ooh.
This is found actually in Ohio. I'm sorry, Ohio, Canada. I'm thinking
Ohio.
something else.
OH.
So, Biko, the
Biko.
drug sniffing dog, alerted officials to the suspicious package on February 13th, and it did test positive for cocaine.
Ooh.
In fact, we do have I have an audio file captured from the body cam
All right.
of one of the officers, and here we go.
Whenever you're ready.
One second. This isn't as smooth as I would have liked it to been because I was having issues.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, we're oh.
Oh!
Wow. Hey, whoa.
Oh shit.
You doing good over there?
No, I'm not, because like I told you.
This is why you leave me in charge of production.
No. Shut up.
I'm teasing, of course. Come on, folks. You know she's teasing. I'm teasing.
Can you please stop? Because I'm playing the clip and then you're like talking.
Oh, right. Okay, play the clip there.
Okay.
I've got it.
Here is the audio footage.
Yes.
Ah, boy. Ooh. Uh-oh.
The hell was that? Play that again. I kind of want to figure. I want to work out what
Because
the hell
this
that
is,
was.
but during the time of when they found the drugs
Okay.
at the customs at the border,
All right.
here is the audio from it.
Ah, boy. Ooh. Uh-oh.
Huh.
That was the guy who was getting caught, getting busted.
Yeah. I think I know how
And
that.
then
I think I know how that chase ended.
And then the drug sniffing dog, Biko.
I know what you were going for. You get points. You get points. Not bad, Brittany.
Anyway, fuck you.
You have more bits.
All right. So the established street value. I just want to end on this. The established street value of the 44 pounds of cocaine frosted flakes was $2.8 million. So
That's a lot of
big
green.
Bust.
Yes.
It was a big bust.
That's a big bus. That is a big bus. And
He was like, Scooby snacks.
well, grand.
No, but wait, can we actually go back? Listen to this, this sounds like Tony the Tiger on
All right.
fuck.
It sounds like Tony the Tiger on fuck.
No, it sounds like...
I'm great. I'm great.
Why is the internet...
Wow, you are really
All right.
self-satisfied, Tony. My Jesus. I'm great.
That's like the original Tony the Tiger old commercial. Listen to him at the end there.
Oh, yeah, they echo it off a little
Yeah,
bit.
listen to it.
They're good.
It's funny to me.
It's like he's ascending into the heavens.
Yes, because
He's like Poochie.
He's fucking high on cocaine. That's why.
I have to go now. My planet needs me.
Yeah, he's fucking high on cocaine. That's him on cocaine saying they're great. All right. So speaking of drugs,
Ooh.
on Monday,
Got any?
no, on Monday, El Chapo's wife, Emma Cornel Aspiro, was arrested at a Virginia airport on charges of
A vagina airport?
Virginia.
Oh, Virginia.
At an
oh.
Virginia
What, a vagina's a place?
airport. Fuck you! You're always pressuring to move through this quickly.
No, you're fine.
And
you're
I
good.
have a speech impediment.
Trust me. No, you don't.
At a Virginia. Didn't really sound like I said vagina, Virginia.
No, I was just playing. I was just doing wordplay.
Airport on charges of
Vagina play, if you wish. Go
charges
ahead.
of
Oh.
you guess. You try and guess what her
I'm
charges
actually trying
should
to
be
read
charged
one.
of.
I'm trying to read
no,
one.
don't read it. Guess.
Oh.
El Chapo's wife. What do you think she would be arrested for?
She bent over and released 10 pounds of crack.
No, she wasn't. But yes, in a way. But no.
She shot liquid cocaine from her tits.
That's how she feeds her children.
Well, they're El Chapo's kids. I mean, they're going to be into it one way or another. Okay,
No,
what was she arrested for? Really.
You kind of guessed it.
Really
It was
bad foot odor.
No. Really bad breath.
Call back. Linger longer.
Yeah. The last Hispanic woman I met had breath and knocked me back on my ass.
We know.
Anyway, you guessed it.
No, I didn't. Don't pretend that I did.
You kind of guessed it.
Okay,
It was for international drug trafficking.
Wow, it was that vague. I didn't know it had to be that. I didn't know I could. If I.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I can't.
Okay. The biggest.
Anything more specific?
Okay, the most specific one would be off the top of my head. It was about conspiracy to transport heroin.
Drugs internationally.
Yeah, it was conspiracy to distribute. No, literally, the charge is. You know how these charges are titled?
No, I've never been taken up on one.
Conspiracy to distribute cocaine, heroin,
Cocaine.
and methamphetamines and marijuana. So they got everything. That's like the
You should
fucking
bring
monopoly of.
Quaaludes.
It's like a one-stop shop of drugs.
Nice.
There.
Good for her. All in her ass crack and
We
vagina,
got all
huh?
these kinds of drugs. You like just marijuana? We got that. You want the hard stuff? We got that.
She ain't getting the hard stuff no more. He's in prison.
He's been in prison, yeah. She could face life in prison and a $10 million fine.
You know, most people get married in prison. This was the first time we remember a divorce in prison. We probably shouldn't have had them live together.
I don't know what you're going for there.
That's okay.
Prosecutors say that she worked closely with the command and control structure of the Sinaloa drug cartel. I totally
Okay,
butchered
don't
that.
hurt yourself.
And not only that, but she conspired in Guzman's El Chapo's prison break in 2015, if you recall that.
Oh yeah.
And it's suspected that she was involved in a second plot to break him out. El Chapo, just to recap, people who don't know, El Chapo was sentenced in 2019 to life in prison, plus 30 years. I always think that's funny how they do that.
Good old El Chapstick.
It's like you served like 6 life sentences. Like, anyways, life
You
in
served
prison
6 minutes.
in a supermax prison in what the fuck? Anyway, in a supermax prison in Colorado. He was in Mexico.
Ooh. He's being held in Mexico, right?
No, he was being held in Mexico, but he broke out of that little.
So much for Supermax, all right.
I'm sure. Not Supermax Max,
I
not
wasn't thinking
Super
of the
Max of like
I
in
wasn't-
Ireland,
I
where you
actually wasn't
You
doing
know,
that.
I still regret that I never took advantage of the free ice cream cone coupon that I had sitting in my wallet for 4 years.
Stop
That's what I
whining.
think of when I think of Super Max.
Stop whining.
Anyway, stop derailing me right now. So yeah, he was
Stop
he was
whining.
held in Mexico. I'm imagining it was like I'm trying to think of some like comical like just like horrible prison where it's like you just have to unscrew the bars and walk out or something. Like I'm just trying to think of some cartoony way of him escaping from prison.
He turns his entire body sideways into a two-dimensional
Yeah.
figure.
No, they actually did build a tunnel. It was through a tunnel. It was very
Yeah. I remember that. Yeah, yeah. no.
Shawshank Redemption style.
El Chapo. He dug into the septic tank. I don't know. I can't do Morgan
He
Freeman.
didn't do any work. They tunneled to him.
Oh, okay. El Chapo
Set
dug his
out
way
El
through a
Chapo.
septic tank of unbelievable shit. Unfortunately, he died in there.
He died of
Found by the septic relievers. Oh my God.
He didn't have enough. They didn't have enough aseptic cream in all of Mexico to heal him from his
okay.
toxins.
So,
all right.
do you want to just finish that one up quickly? Yeah.
It was a really, but when you really think about it, it's kind of a really fierry love story, you know?
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
As in they both had crabs and Mexican food at the same time?
This fiercely loyal wife, I will follow wherever he is. I am in love with him. He is the father of my children.
I will commit a felony to gee with him.
To gee with him.
To gee with him. To gay with him.
So speaking of power couples, Kim Kardashian's leaving Kanye.
Let's not do the Kim and Kanye thing right now.
It's really quick, though.
Okay, if it's quick, let's do it.
Okay, well, if you stop telling me don't do it because it's going to take too long.
If you stop doing that when I'm telling you to do that.
Speaking of power couples, Kim Kardashian is leaving Kanye, but don't worry, she's a comeback queen. I mean, if you recall her sex tape, she did have.
She's a comeback
queen.
I heard she just spits your cum in your face. That's her comeback queen status.
Right in your face. Oh, actually, can we just really quickly?
Bitch.
There's one thing I didn't tell you about. You know how we keep talking about the whole girl from Guadalajara talking about my dimples. I said, yeah, it's only dimples on your face that are the ones you want. And she's like, oh no, what about? And she tapped my thigh when she said it, but she was referring to the dimples, on lower back.
Mm.
And she's like,
likes
no, I bet you got those too, the cum catchers. And I was like, I started laughing. I'm like, I've never heard them called that before.
The cum catchers.
Cum catchers.
Oh, I thought she wanted to scoop the shit out of them. After you've had a necessarily bad diarrhea dump after you've had a date with burritos. It's like, I ate burritos. I'm going to... No, leave them in there. I like to scoop the shit out of your cum catchers. She's disgusting.
Right,
Ugh.
anyway. So Kanye, okay, they were married for 6.5 years. They had 4 kids, which just shows me how much I follow them because I only think of North.
East, West, and South.
No, they're still really stupid names. So here we go.
Oh, right.
Listen to these fucking stupid names, all right?
These poor kids.
Fucking stupid names. Listen to this.
Let's not go after the innocents. Okay, what are their names?
No, I'm bashing their parents for giving them such fucking stupid names. So we have Northwest,
Northwest,
which we all know.
Northwest, Saint West,
Chicago
West,
and Psalm, as in like
the Battle of the Somme.
As in the Bible, yeah.
Oh, Somme, like Psalm.
Yeah.
Somme West.
Yeah.
Somme West sounds like a Floridian destination. Come to Somme West. We've got Somme trees.
Oh my god.
It's like a booking agent had a speech impediment. Come to Somme Beach. We got Somme trees under the sun, and so over there.
All right, so just a couple wrapping up points. I guess she kind of announced it on Instagram or whatever.
And wonderful place to announce something very personal to you. Bravo, classy bitch.
Well, she's an influencer.
Bravo.
You gotta expose.
Fuck you and your influencing. Fuck you. Go influence a job.
I'm sorry.
Go get a job
I
and influence something of relevance.
I actually do have a close friend who calls herself an influencer.
Yeah, but
and
I
does
like
make
her.
money. I know that, but it's so. Can we just say like influence? Okay, content creator used to be kind of cringy.
Content creator. That's what we are. We're content creators. How do you say it?
It's kind of cringy. Content creator.
Content.
You're a cunt. With whatever the fuck you're doing.
Very good.
But yes, influencers
you get there in the
is
end.
like just makes me cringe. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I hate it.
It does.
I really do hate it.
But there's still some good out
No,
there.
wait, no, I don't hate content creator. I love it because
Content creator.
we are content creators. We are podcasters first and foremost. The worst, but we know what? We're here.
So is every other millennial out there that's part of being a millennial. Is like you started a podcast or you want to.
Anthony, why didn't I listen to you?
Okay, can I wrap up my final points?
Yes.
So she did announce it through social media. She shared like her stories of dealing with some of his behavior, like back this summer. I guess he does struggle and or have bipolar disorder.
Yeah.
And then they kind of mentioned things about during his presidential race, which like, did he actually run for president? But I guess he did. He held some events at least. And just kind of the article went on to talk about some shared controversial and personal statements there, and that kind of led to the tension in their relationship. But blah blah blah. I don't
Not
really
enough
care.
sex.
Her cum
clit?
catchers were too big.
Cum catchers. They were like cow catchers. Casey Jones would have been perfectly fine with them.
She's got some big cum catchers. We've all seen that pictures where she's showing her ass and she's got the huge champagne spray going on.
I heard they photoshopped that it's actually a guy's dick.
Her body, and I can actually see that, like her body and her buttocks. I can see that being part of like a dick. Actually, now that you say that, cock and balls, I can actually visualize that now.
What's with this guy's dick over here? It's huge. He's got like this creamy substance coming out of it over onto a rash. I'm too old for this. Why am I here?
Anyway,
all right, come on.
Just so everybody knows,
we're wrapping up here. So
just so everybody knows, the last thing I want to say is that this was his first marriage. Sadly, coming to an end. This is number 3 for old Kimmy.
Oh, Kimmy.
Kimmy,
your life is just the. Need I say
fucking
more?
Shit.
Brittany, I do see you have a final. That's
Famous
entertaining
for nothing.
piece. And it's very, very sad news. And I want to read this because I'm more of a fan than you are.
Okay, go on then.
Daft Punk are splitting up. Yeah.
Wait, are you booing the group, the duo Daft
No,
Punk?
I am booing the news. I am booing the news.
Okay,
I
I got
actually
you.
do feel like.
Boo, so it's more like boo-hoo kind of.
Yes,
boo.
I do. Actually, you know what? I'm going to turn this music down. And I'm going to get just a little bit.
Yeah, let's end it on a Daft Punk song in commemoration.
Well, we're not going to end it on a Daft Punk song.
Why
But
not?
while we talk about Daft Punk, we are going to have some Daft Punk.
I think we should close it out with a little.
I think you should. I'm going to put on one that actually we used to cover in the band once upon a time.
My God.
Back in the glory days of when I was in a band.
Fucking glory day talker over here.
But you know, it was a tough old tune to play. I'm not going to lie. No, it was a tough old tune to play.
No, I'm not doubting that.
Mostly because
especially when half of you guys in the group are retarded.
Well, I mean, it's EDM. Jesus.
How did that not get any
Christ.
shock out of you?
Well, mostly because it's true, but I was that half. So that's, I mean, you're just kind of preaching to a choir there.
How do you?
It was a 2-piece. I was one half.
How do you know when the stage is level?
Oh, shut up. Yeah, we're gonna.
When the drummer has got drool coming out from both sides of his mouth.
Oh, wonderful, beautifully put. But I was a little shocked to hear this. Yeah, Daft Punk are finally, after 20 years.
30 years.
30 years? 28 years.
Closer to about 30 years of working together.
Or exactly 28, like I just said. I got
Yes,
that wrong.
I mean-
2020.
Yes, they started.
Whatever.
They technically started.
Whatever.
It started in '93 in Paris.
Yeah.
So nearly 30 years. Yes.
But I mean, Daft Punk were instrumental in my musical development growing up. I loved
Instrumental, no pun intended.
yes, boo.
Oh my God! Will you stop with that? I thought that was like, are you serious? Oh my God! Oh my
Yes.
God!
Well, I'm trying to play as much over so we maybe not too much of a copyright strike over aerodynamic here. But Daft Punk, one of my favorite albums of all time, two of my favorite albums. They actually have one of the pure.
all time.
They have one of my pure distinctions of being one of the few bands that have two of my favorite albums of all time.
Yeah.
Both Discovery and Ram,
Yeah.
Random Access Memories. Two of my absolute favorite albums of all time.
Yeah.
I mean, like, Iron Maiden only, I think, get one. Judas Priest, I think, get one.
Oh, really?
Daft Punk get 2 spots on my list. That is a testament to how
2
good.
spots on your dick?
2 spots on my dick and 1 on my ball. That is how good Daft Punk are. So, Daft Punk, I mean, you could say we hardly knew ye, but you are so important in this young boy's life. Brittany, I mean, how aware of them were you really?
You know, I've honestly, speaking of Kanye West, as we were speaking about earlier, I realized that one of my favorite Kanye West songs I liked was just because it had Daft Punk tracking it. The stronger.
Yeah.
No, I love everything I've heard from Daft Punk, but I've never gone back. It's the one group that I have been wanting to go back and really check out their whole discography. So I can't say I'm a mega fan and that I know albums and I know song titles. I won't. But everything I've heard, I really do enjoy. We watched that whole anime
Discovery
together. Yeah.
Interstellar 5665 or whatever it's called. I don't remember the exact. Don't crucify me for that. But I don't remember the exact name of that album. The anime. But. It's a great anime. In fact, the video is playing right now. This is, of course, Aerodynamic by Daft Punk.
Yeah. 6-time Grammy Award winner. They did just
deserved.
They did post a farewell video. I'm gonna check it out after this. Called Epilogue, and it's just an artistic thing of them as robots shutting down, basically. So
it really is a shame, but you know what?
I learned what their names were tonight for the first time.
Oh yeah, Thomas Bangleter and Guy Manuel de Roman Cristo.
Yeah. I call them old silver and gold helmet guys.
Very good. No, I'm gonna miss them, but you know what? They're going out on a high. Ram, which will be their final album, I think.
Okay.
Ram, I think, is their unless there's something unknown to me.
Okay.
Ram is one of the finest albums ever put to tape, whatever. Beautiful album.
Put to record, basically.
Put to record.
Is what you could
One of
say.
the best albums. There are numerous hits. I'll enjoy Daft Punk till the day I die, probably. It's gonna be very weird if we have kids at one point and they're gonna be looking at. Like, let me show you, kiddo, what we used to listen to and dance to, and it'll be something like this, and it'll be like.
That's such a weird thought to think, like
So
something
weird.
that like we hear,
Was
what
so
we'd
new
hear
to
from our
us.
grandparents would be like. Like I can't ever imagine this sounding. I mean, yes, it has like an 80s synth kind of nostalgia, that kind of to it, but synthwave is, you can argue it takes from some retro.
Daft Punk
Well, because
reinvented synthwave.
Synth music.
Or invented synthwave.
I mean,
it had to be.
Sith Lord. The music of the music of the Sith Lord. No, synth music is always.
What you are.
Synth music though is always gonna have this place, this kind of little place it fills with like with nostalgia, because it's always gonna be somewhat of a time capsule, because there was a time synth is only a new form of music
Since the
because
70s.
of technology.
Technology, 60s and 70s. Well,
Yeah,
50s
being
actually,
developed
technically.
in the 50s, 60s, kind of used in the 70s, definitely in the 80s. So Yeah, I don't know what I was trying to say there, but yeah.
Well, speaking of
Fuck y'all out there.
speaking of kind of
Daft
synthy
Punk.
music and all that, it is now time for that beautiful outro of ours. Of course, very 80s. I would say had a lot of influence on Daft Punk, but
And basically just...
can we just very, very quickly...
ripping it from Holmberg's intro?
No, his exit, actually.
Is it still... Okay, so we're doing... we exit exactly
It's the
the same
He-Man
song.
theme song. He-Man, yeah.
Yeah, I hope he actually does get to voice He-Man at some point in his career.
I would prefer to get Skeletor.
No,
What?
I'm talking about Holmberg.
I know, but I would like to do a Skeletor opposite Holmberg's He-Man.
Yeah, do you think he would think it's cool that you use the same exit music, or do you think he would be like
I think he would
scoff
be
at
touched. I think he would be touched.
it? I don't
Considering they only started
know.
using it recently as well.
I don't know.
But I
about
do
that.
like it. I think it's one of the most perfect outro songs you could go. But Brittany, before we go, can we quickly...
I think you're an empty vessel of a man and a parrot.
I am a man trying to find my voice in a world that stopped caring a long time ago.
Ooh, that's kind of poetic.
Yeah, I know. I heard it on Jimmy Fallon the other night.
Oh God, what?
That's a joke.
What the
But
fuck?
can we, before we go, can we all just bow our heads in reverence and give Daft Punk the true applause?
Yeah, you should have ended
that
on
they
one of their songs.
Truly deserve.
Whatever.
Stop whining.
Okay, we're stopping whining here, and we're going to thank you.
We have creative
we're gonna
differences. What can I say?
We're going to thank Daft Punk, and
For sponsoring this
for
episode.
sponsoring this episode.
What the fuck?
No, we're going to thank you, the subscriber, and you, the listener, for listening to this episode, listening to us really get fired up in one of the most enjoyable episodes I've enjoyed so far. We'll be back again very soon. Again, keep your ears out. Keep those ears perked for the Men of Monster podcast, which will be coming hopefully soon once we can
Don't
find...
make empty promises,
Once
dear
we can
boy.
find, once we can find one of the
Once
other
you can-
guys who might
once
have
you can find-
disappeared.
Once you,
But,
yeah.
but
Wait, can we use his
he's
name?
alive. He's
Can
alive.
I say his name?
No, you can't say his name. You have nothing to do with that podcast, Brittany. You are wow all the way, madam. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening to us.
have a
Please
mi-
like, share, and subscribe if you like what you hear. And if you don't like what you hear, hey, like and subscribe anyway. It's not like you look at your YouTube subscriptions, is it? No, I don't think you do. So like and subscribe. Like us. We won't like you, but you know what? Somebody might, somebody won't.
All
And
right, cut it
words
off,
are
babe.
everywhere. Words are everywhere.
Words are
Thank
everywhere,
you.
coming out of your fucking face.
From the bottom of my heart, I'm going to turn Brittany's mic off now so she doesn't do it. From the bottom of my heart, thank you very much for listening. Hope to see you again soon. And we will. And yeah, that's it. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Good night.
I don't get to say goodbye? Goodbye, you dirty rascals.
Goodbye.